Close your eyes, dear heart, and breathe with me. If you are here, you are likely carrying a deep, quiet weariness, the exhaustion of an overthinking mind that has fought too hard and worried too long. Feel the tension in your jaw and the pressure behind your eyes. That's the sound of your inner expert refusing to clock out. Tonight, you don't need another tip or trick. You need true release. We invite you to step away from the burden of knowing and the panic of not knowing. Let us gently lead you back to the radiant, weightless peace of the beginner's mind. It's time to remember your original innocence, where rest is not an achievement to be earned, but a natural grace waiting to hold you. You are safe here. You can let go now. The weight that wearies the heart. Take a moment right now to recognize the heavy, painful fatigue in your mind, the exhaustion that isn't physical, but comes from constantly carrying your entire life story. Imagine your mind as a beautiful, delicate parchment scroll. All day, and perhaps for years, you felt compelled to fill it, page after page, with frantic ink. Your arguments, your worries, the things you should have said, and the things you must do tomorrow. That ink is heavy. It stains the present moment with anxiety. Dear one, that heavy, self-inflicted burden of knowing is the primary reason you cannot rest. You are not bad at sleeping. You are just profoundly tired of carrying your past and future simultaneously. The teaching of the beginner's mind is not just a philosophy. It is a profound act of self-compassion. It gives you permission to finally set that scroll down. You don't have to fix your whole life tonight. You only have to grant yourself one simple sacred gift, the gift of the unwritten page. 2. The relief of the empty space. Feel the palpable relief of that emptiness now. When the page is blank, there is nothing to defend, nothing to erase with effort, and nothing to prove. It is pure, soft potential. When a painful memory or judgment, that familiar sharp ink floats up, do not engage with it. You don't owe it your attention. Simply whisper to yourself, that belongs to the past scroll. This moment is fresh. This page is safe. The ink of the past cannot touch the blank paper of the present unless you consciously choose to pick up the pen again. Tonight, the pen is resting. Your hand is resting. Your criticizing, judging mind is resting. This is a moment of absolute safety. You are safe from your own critiques. You are safe from yesterday's failures. This beautiful, unwritten space is where deep healing begins, because nothing and no one is demanding anything of you here. Allow yourself to be truly safe. 3. Breathing away the conditioning. Our anxiety is built on conditioned thinking. Because I struggled to sleep yesterday, I will certainly struggle again tonight. The beginner's mind lovingly dismantles this fear by pointing to the simple, radical truth of the present. Recognize that your struggles last night have absolutely no power over the breath you are drawing right now. This breath is clean. This body is clean. This opportunity for rest is virgin territory, untouched by history. Use your exhale as a gentle, invisible eraser. With every sighing release, feel yourself letting go of the need to be defined by what you have done or what you fear you will become. Let the conditioning dissolve with the breath. The body remembers innocence. The body knows how to surrender. When you let go of the mental ink, the physical tension held in your jaw, your shoulders, your stomach can finally melt, recognizing that the struggle is truly over. You are free now to be simply here, a conscious being with no obligations to history, falling into original grace. Allow yourself to sink into the deep, supportive cradle of your bed. Let the lightness and spaciousness of the empty page fill every cell of your body. The mind, now soft and spacious, no longer needs to work so hard. It can trust the ancient, effortless rhythm of life, the rhythm that beats your heart, that breathes your lungs. You are not running the show. You are being held by the show. This is the profound grace of the beginning. You don't need to be an expert in sleep. You only need to be innocent enough to receive it. Sleep is not a prize for good effort. It is a natural, unearned gift waiting for you. Let the sound of my voice fade as the pages turn blank. There is only rest, peace, and the exquisite, light relief of the unwritten page. Let go of the pen, dear heart, and fall into the deep, welcoming silence. The fullness that starves you. Settle deeper into the quiet of the room. As you rest here, notice that strange, common sensation where your body is full, but your mind is starving. Your days are often packed with input emails, conversations, news, worries, a constant, overflowing feast of information. Yet, despite this fullness, you feel weary and unnourished. This is because much of what we consume mentally is like spiritual junk food. It fills the space, but leaves behind a toxic residue. Your mind, like a beautiful ceramic bowl, has been holding too much. It has held the residue of arguments, the sticky sweetness of self-praise, the bitter taste of regret, and the sharp tang of resentment. This mental residue clogs the system, creating a chaotic fullness that prevents peace. You feel heavy, but you are not rested. 2. The Zen teaching of emptiness, sunyata. In Zen, we speak of emptiness, sunyata, which is often misunderstood. Emptiness is not a barren nothingness. It is the pure potential that exists when the vessel is clean. It is the space necessary for life to unfold beautifully. Imagine now the bowl of your mind. It is perfectly still, resting in your hands. Acknowledge the sticky, dull residue that remains from the day's consumption. Don't judge it. Simply see it. This is the expert mind's collection, the attachment to mental leftovers. With your next exhale, visualize the purest, clearest water pouring gently over the rim of your mental bowl. This water is your breath, your awareness, your self-compassion. Let it gently rinse away the bitterness and the stickiness. Let the residue dissolve and flow out, leaving the bowl clear and clean. 3. The taste of pure presence. Now that your bowl is empty, notice the sensation. It is light, It is spacious. There is no taste of the past to spoil the present moment. This clean space is the beginner's mind, ready to be truly nourished. The great tragedy of the busy mind is that it misses the simple, abundant nourishment constantly available. The breath. When your bowl is full of residue, you take your breath for granted. When the bowl is empty, the simple in and out flow feels like a sacred, life-giving drink. The support. When your mind is cluttered, you feel unsupported. When the bowl is empty, you feel the soft, profound support of the mattress beneath you. A deep, unearned comfort. The silence. When your mind is noisy, silence feels threatening. When the bowl is empty, silence is heard not as an absence, but as a deep, resonant hum of peace. Allow this pure, clean presence to nourish your weariness. You are full of life, not full of chaos. The gentle rhythm of your heart is the only sound you need to consume now. 4. Giving permission to be clean. This cleansing is not a one-time event. It is a permission you grant yourself in every moment. If a new, anxious thought tries to enter the bowl, simply recognize it and say softly, "My bowl is clean now. I am not consuming that." Let the simplicity of the empty bowl become the anchor for your rest. You are not trying to reach a goal. You are simply maintaining the state of clarity. Rest now in this pristine emptiness. The past is dissolved. The future has not yet poured in. There is only the sweet, clear space of this moment holding you perfectly. You are clean, you are whole, and you are ready to receive the deepest rest that comes only from true, gentle emptiness. The heavy burden of the map. As you lie here, still and quiet, let us consider the mind's most persistent habit, planning. Your mind is like a tireless, anxious cartographer, obsessed with drawing maps. All day, and especially at night, it attempts to map out the territory of tomorrow, the terrain of your life, and the exact route to reach the destination of good sleep. These mental maps are usually heavy and complex, covered with frantic details. Route to success, checklist for tomorrow, strategy for happiness, and the critical path to rest. But look closely at this mental map right now. Does it make you feel safe? Or does the sheer complexity of it make you feel more lost and overwhelmed? The expert mind believes it must know the whole journey before it can take a single step. But the beginner's mind asks, what if the map itself is the burden that prevents the journey from beginning? 2. The path in the fresh snow. Imagine yourself standing at the edge of a vast, silent forest, covered in a beautiful layer of fresh, untouched snow. The sun has set, and it is perfectly still. You are holding the mental map, a complicated diagram of paths you might take, dangers you must avoid, and destinations you need to reach. The map weighs heavily in your hand, and you are frozen by analysis. You cannot move until you determine the absolute perfect route. Now, gently, let the map slip from your fingers. It drifts silently onto the soft snow, resting in the mystery. Zen masters encourage us to rest in the mystery. The greatest breakthroughs, the moments of true understanding, rarely come when our minds are rigidly certain. They come when we are humble enough to say, I am lost, or I don't understand, opening the door for new wisdom to enter. Your body is a mystery. Your next breath is a mystery. The process of healing and restoration happening right now is a beautiful mystery. You don't need to supervise it. You just need to allow it. Sink into the deep, dark comfort of this glorious ignorance. You are cradled by forces far wiser than your waking mind. You are safe in the hands of the great mystery. Let the relief of I don't know wash over you. It is the lightest burden you will ever carry. Rest in this freedom, dear one. The unknown is the only place true peace resides. The instantaneous chain of suffering. As you lie in the quiet of the night, notice how quickly your mind works. It is the most sophisticated, yet often the most exhausted, machine in the universe. It cannot bear to simply experience. It must instantly label and categorize everything it encounters. You hear a sound outside, and instantly the mind labels it noise. Then it judges it. Annoying, distracting, preventing sleep. You feel a physical sensation, and the mind labels it ache. Then it judges it bad, threatening, a sign of worry. This is the instantaneous chain that creates suffering. Experience is greater than label, is greater than judgment, is greater than emotional reaction. The expert mind believes that by naming and judging, it gains control, but in truth, it locks you into a cage of endless reaction. 2. The pure mirror of the beginner's mind. The teaching of the innocent eye invites us to break this chain and return to a state of pure perception. Imagine your consciousness as a perfectly polished, still mirror. The mirror does not hold the image. It does not judge the image. If a rose appears, the mirror reflects the rose. If a broken stick appears, the mirror reflects the broken stick. The mirror remains perfectly clean and unchanged, regardless of what passes before it. This is the essential nature of the beginner's mind. It is the mirror that receives reality without internal commentary. Now, bring this practice to your rest. 3. The unlabeled star. Notice any thoughts that arise now. Do not follow them. Do not push them away. Simply observe the mental energy without assigning it a name or meaning. When a thought tries to attach the label worry, gently remove the label. See only the raw, electric energy of the thought itself, like an unlabeled star in the night sky. The raw light cannot hurt you. It is the label that triggers the fear. When a sensation in your body screams discomfort, gently remove the label. Feel only the raw sensation, the pressure, the heat, the tingling, without letting the mind assign judgment. The sensation is just movement. The judgment is what creates suffering. This requires profound emotional courage. It requires the humility to admit, I don't need to know what that is. I can just see it. 4. Resting in original contact. Let your awareness sink deeper into the primary sensory experiences available to you now. Experiences that exist before the mind has time to label them. Sound. Hear the texture of the sound, without naming its source. Touch. Feel the temperature and texture of the sheets without naming them soft or rough. Observe the movement of the air without naming it good or shallow. Every time you succeed in seeing without naming, you are reclaiming a precious piece of your innocence. You are stepping out of the exhausting, self-created drama of the expert mind. As you practice the innocent eye, the flow of mental judgment slows down because the raw sensory data is simply not interesting enough to keep the engine running. The mind can finally settle because it has been relieved of its most burdensome job, the job of judge and jury. Rest now as the pure, clean mirror of consciousness. Allow everything to be reflected without holding on to anything. In the silence of no judgment, dear one, true rest arrives. The exhaustion of having to reply. Lie still now and notice your mind's natural tendency to talk. The expert mind is always engaged in a conversation, either arguing with someone from the past, planning what it will say tomorrow, or replying instantly to every thought that arises. This constant need to reply, to manage the dialogue, to defend a position, to fill the silence, is deeply exhausting. It's the energy of effort which directly opposes the energy of rest. You are so busy being the speaker and the editor that you miss the quiet, profound wisdom the night is offering you. The beginner's mind teaches us a radical and restful shift, the transition from the speaker to the listener. It is the conscious emotional act of laying down the burden of having to contribute or respond. 2. The metaphor of the receptive soil. Imagine your body and mind now as rich, dark, receptive soil. All the sounds, sensations, and fleeting thoughts of the night are like tiny raindrops falling gently onto this soil. The soil does not argue with the rain. It does not critique the speed or the temperature of the drops. It does not jump up and try to explain itself to the clouds. The soil simply receives. It holds the moisture, absorbs the presence, and remains utterly patient and still. Its power lies in its passivity, in its ability to contain everything without reacting to anything. Become this soil now. Allow the sounds of the night, a distant siren, the hum of the refrigerator, even the small, anxious voice in your own head to fall upon you like drops of rain. Do not reply to them. Do not chase them. Do not judge them. Simply receive them into your space. 3. Listening to the silence between. When you move from listening to the noise to listening for the silence, something profound shifts. The noise cannot exist without the silence that frames it. Every sound has a birth, a peak, and a natural return to silence. The expert mind clings to the peak, the content. The beginner's mind trusts the return. Focus your inner ear on the stillness that exists between the sounds, between the thoughts, and between your breaths. That space, that pure, unconditioned silence, is your deepest home. This practice offers a deep sense of safety. When you are the listener, you cannot be hurt by the content of the words, because you are focused on the texture of the sound, the rhythm of the experience, and the safety of the silence that surrounds it all. You are untouchable in your receptivity. 4. Surrender to the great holding. Let the rest of your body relax into this deep, receptive quiet. Relax your throat, your tongue, and the muscles around your ears, the parts of the body that tense when we are preparing to speak or reply. You are being invited to surrender to the great holding. You are not the initiator. You are the one being held. You are not the speaker. You are the one being spoken to by the universe. When you become the listener, the need for effort dissolves. The deepest healing occurs in a state of rest and reception, never in a state of striving and output. Trust the quiet wisdom that arises when you are silent. Rest now, dear heart, as the receptive soil. Hold everything, react to nothing, and let the profound, restorative silence carry you into sleep. Let the night speak, and let your spirit simply listen. The tyranny of the masterpiece. Settle your weight entirely into the bed, and let the quiet come. As you rest, let us gently examine the harshest voice inside your head, the voice of the inner critic, the one driven by the expert mind. This voice whispers, "You must be perfect before you can rest. You must finish your checklist. You must be successful, healed, and whole. You are not a masterpiece yet, so you must keep working." This is the tyranny of the masterpiece. It is the exhausting self-imposed rule that says your value and therefore your right to peace is conditional upon being a flawless, finished product. This fear of being unfinished or imperfect is one of the deepest sources of insomnia and mental agitation. It steals your ability to simply be in your current, raw, beautiful state. 2. The Zen of the uncarved block, Pu. In the wisdom traditions of the East, particularly Taoism and Zen, there is a profound teaching embodied in the concept of Pu'u, often translated as the uncarved block or the unpolished gem. The master does not look at the finished, polished statue and call it the most perfect thing. The master looks at the raw, simple block of wood or stone, still connected to its original nature, and recognizes that this raw state holds the greatest potential. The finished piece is static. Its possibilities are concluded. But the uncarved block is dynamic. It contains all possible forms. It has not been constrained by labels, expectations. Its essence is its complete, natural, and simple wholeness. 3. Claiming your raw potential. Tonight, I invite you to reclaim your state as an uncarved block. You are not a project to be completed before sunrise. You are not a problem to be solved before rest. You are perfect, exactly as you are imperfect, changing, full of unknowns, and gloriously unfinished. Feel the relief of letting go of the need to be polished. Relax the parts of your body that tense up when you are trying to look perfect or act competent. Let the imperfections, the momentary aches, the confusing thoughts, the unfinished tasks be simply part of the raw material of who you are right now. The beginner's mind is the realization that your true value resides not in the destination, being the perfect masterpiece, but in the starting point, the simple, genuine block. You deserve rest precisely because you are you, raw and real, not because you have earned it through completion. 4. Resting in wholeness. Use your breath to affirm your current state of wholeness. Inhale, I am incomplete. Exhale, and I am perfectly whole. Allow the tension in your mind to dissolve as you accept this truth. You don't need to apologize for where you are. You don't need to try and carve yourself into someone better tonight. Let the simplicity of the wood, the quiet weight of the stone, enter your spirit. This natural, unconstrained state of being is utterly safe and incredibly powerful. The anxiety of masterpiece thinking falls away, leaving only the deep, grounded peace of the uncarved block. You are completely free to rest now, dear one. Rest in the knowledge that your greatest potential lies in this very moment of being exactly who you are, wonderfully and deeply unfinished. The expert's boredom. As you drift toward rest, observe how the expert mind relates to the world. The expert mind is rarely impressed. It has seen it all, labeled it all, and therefore it finds everything ordinary. The sun rises ordinary. You take a breath ordinary. Your heart beats ordinary. This continuous dismissal of the obvious, this boredom is a profound form of spiritual exhaustion. When nothing is new, nothing is engaging. And when the mind is disengaged and bored, it defaults to the drama of worry and planning to feel alive. But the beginner's mind does not know boredom. The beginner's mind approaches everything with wonder, with the pure, wide-eyed awe of seeing something for the very first time. 2. The raindrop's journey. Let us shift our focus to the deepest, most subtle experience available to you right now. Your breathing. The expert mind says, "It's just breath. I do it all the time." The beginner's mind says, "Look, a miracle." Imagine the air entering your lungs, not as air, but as a single, perfect raindrop, falling from the vast, deep sky. Follow its entire, miraculous journey. Inhale. This droplet, which has traveled across mountains and oceans, enters your nostrils. It is received by your body as pure life, pure sustenance. The moment of stillness. For a fraction of a second, the raindrop rests, perfectly contained and transformed within the sacred silence of your lungs. Exhale. It is released back to the world, changed and transforming. Each breath is a complete cycle of birth, life, death, and release, the entire universe contained in a single, quiet action. You are not just breathing, you are participating in a cosmic dance of pure wonder. 3. The sacred in the simple. When you look at the mundane with the beginner's mind, the sacred emerges. Feel the weight of the sheets on your skin. This is not just fabric. It is the earth holding you, transformed by threads and looms, dedicated to your comfort. Hear your heartbeat. This is not just a muscle pumping. It is the unwavering rhythm of time itself, working tirelessly without your conscious effort or command. It is the sound of life's eternal loyalty to you. This practice of wonder requires only two things: attention and humility. Humility to admit that you don't fully understand the miracle of the heartbeat, and attention to watch the miracle unfold right now. Let the mind rest from the burden of judging the world, and instead, let it be filled with the delight of simply beholding the world, resting in awe. When the mind is filled with awe, it stops spinning. Worry is a small, cramped emotion. Wonder is vast and spacious. You cannot feel stressed when you are genuinely astonished. Let this feeling of deep, gentle astonishment fill your chest and spread through your limbs. You are an intricate, miraculous piece of the universe, resting exactly where you are meant to be. You don't need to change anything to find peace. You only need to change the eyes through which you see the current reality. Sink into the comfort of this rediscovered magic. Let the quiet hum of your own life, the miraculous breath, the loyal heart lull you deeper into rest. Rest now, dear heart, and let the wonder of being alive carry you into sleep. The accumulation of failure debt. As you find deeper stillness, notice one final, subtle burden the expert mind loves to carry: the concept of accumulated failure. When you practice meditation or breathing for sleep, and the mind wanders, the inner critic immediately tallies it up. You failed to focus. You failed to rest. This entire day was a failure, and now this night is a failure too. This feeling of failure is a debt the ego demands you carry. It whispers that because you messed up a moment ago, the current moment is compromised, stained, and therefore you must now work twice as hard to catch up. This pressure to make up for lost time or correct past errors is exhausting and completely counterproductive to rest. 2. The eternal sunrise. The profound wisdom of the beginner's mind offers complete, unconditional forgiveness for every moment that has passed. It recognizes the truth of the endless beginning. Imagine the moment of sunrise. Does the sun ever hesitate because it rose poorly yesterday? Does it worry about the quality of tomorrow's light? No. Every single morning, the sun simply rises again, completely new, completely fresh, with zero knowledge of its history. It is a moment of pure, unconditional beginning. Your consciousness functions in the same way. Every single moment, every millisecond is the starting line of the entire universe. It is a fresh, non-judgmental beginning, untouched by the failure of the moment that just dissolved. 3. The power of the restart. This is the power of the beginner's mind in practice. Whenever you notice your mind has wandered, whenever you realize you have picked up the map, Section 3, or started carving the block, Section 7, you have the instant divine right to restart. Don't judge the wandering. Don't call it a failure. Simply recognize it, smile softly, and say, restart. If you spent 30 minutes worrying, restart. If you felt a sharp burst of irritation, restart. If you missed the last 3 breaths, restart. You don't have to apologize to the universe for a wandering mind. The universe is not judging you. The universe only offers the vast, open space of the present moment, always available for a fresh start. There is no cumulative score, no debt carried over. 4. Resting in radical forgiveness. Let the immense weight of the debt of history fall away. You do not need to carry yesterday's efforts, or even the efforts of 5 minutes ago. Sink into the radical forgiveness that the present moment offers you. Feel the incredible relief of being unconditional. You are free from your past performance, free from your self-imposed metrics of success, and free from the need to earn this rest. The beginner's mind is simply the consciousness that says, I forgive the past, I release the future, I begin now. Let this fresh, clean energy, the energy of the eternal sunrise, fill your lungs, your heart, and your limbs. You are lighter than you have ever been because you have finally stopped carrying the weight of all your yesterdays. Rest now, dear heart. Every moment is the beginning of the rest of your life. The light of the intellect. We have traveled far, shedding the burden of history, maps, judgments, and the pressure to be perfect. Yet there remains one final stubborn attachment that keeps the gate to deep rest slightly ajar. The light of the intellect. The expert mind fears the darkness of unconsciousness because it represents the total loss of control. It wants to keep a small mental light on a tiny flashlight of thought just to monitor the process, just to be sure everything is still okay. But sleep, true, restorative sleep, demands that you voluntarily turn off the light. It asks you to trust that the deepest safety lies not in your conscious monitoring, but in the vast, benevolent silence of the dark. 2. The child in the dark. The beginner's mind knows this secret. Remember the deep, absolute trust of a child in the dark. A child does not fear the dark itself. They fear the absence of the caregiver. When a child knows they are held, the dark becomes safe. It is the space for imagination, silence, and profound rest. Tonight, the universe is your caregiver. The earth beneath you is the secure lap that holds you. You are completely and unconditionally safe, even when your light of conscious thought is turned off. Practice becoming this child. Let the big, complicated adult thoughts about finance, status, and control dissolve. Allow yourself to be small, simple, and utterly trusting, just for these hours of deep rest. 3. The dropped paddle. Imagine you are drifting down a wide, calm river in a small boat. All day long, you have been paddling furiously, trying to steer, correct the course, and fight the current. That paddle is your will, your effort, and your conscious mind. It is exhausting. Now, we ask you to perform the final act of total surrender. Gently, consciously, place the paddle inside the boat. You are no longer responsible for steering. When you drop the paddle, the river, the current of life, the process of sleep naturally takes over. You realize that you were always being carried. Your effort was not necessary. It was only causing turbulence. Feel the boat of your body settling, rocking gently, completely at the mercy and grace of the river. There is an immense, powerful relief in knowing the current knows the way. I can stop trying now. 4. Resting without knowing. Use your final moments of awareness to feel the exquisite, passive sensation of simply being carried. You don't need to know where the river is going. You don't need to know the exact moment the boat will reach the harbor of sleep. The only task remaining is to relax your grip on the edge of the boat, your mental tension, and let yourself be moved by the powerful yet gentle force of the night. This is the ultimate lesson of the beginner's mind. True strength is not found in control, but in the innocent, humble trust that you are part of something vast, wise, and kind. Let the dark come, not as an ending, but as the soft, deep embrace of rest. Turn off the light of the intellect now. Surrender completely, dear heart, and let the current take you home. You are now resting in the pure, unburdened heart of the beginner's mind. You have done enough. You know enough. You are simply here, held by the infinite grace of the present moment. Let the weight of all striving dissolve entirely. Allow the quiet power of the unwritten page, the empty bowl, and the boundless love of the unknown to hold you. This is your birthright, the freedom of innocent surrender. May your rest be deep, healing, and profoundly peaceful. Sleep well, dear friend.